Welcome to the Vintage Burn Podcast. This is Kev.
Jay.
And Doug.
And we are going to do... What's the year of...
Kevin, it's 2023. Are you okay? Did you hit your head?
Yeah. What year?
Year 1719.
1719.
What year did this movie come out?
So we're doing Prey. Came out in 2022.
There you go. That's what I was looking for.
So it rated a 7.1 on the IMDb. Rated R, which is, makes sense. And running an hour and 40 minutes. So, and it goes quick too, I think.
It does go
For an
pretty
hour and 40
fast.
minutes,
Yeah.
it doesn't drag too much in one spot. It kind of flows well, I thought. So I'll give you the synopsis. Naru, a skilled warrior of the Comanche Nation, fights to protect her tribe against one of the first highly evolved, non-sexual predators to land on Earth that we know of at this time. There might be more prequels, I don't know. But so I give it. It's got the MySpace description. So it's an action, adventure, drama, horror, sci-fi thriller. And you know how I always bitch about how MySpace ruined genres. Oh,
Yeah.
we're black thrash, hip hop, experimental, indie, reggae.
Yeah.
We were kind of just talking about this too, and saying that like this might be like the first one of these that we've done which isn't really a horror movie. I wouldn't call this a horror movie. It's almost not really a sci-fi movie. You kind of forget that it's a sci-fi movie. In fact, how many times do you forget that there's even a predator in this movie?
Right.
So you kind of get wrapped up in the story.
That's
Right.
true. And so right out of the gate, we're talking about this earlier too, how it's just gorgeously shot.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just even if you watched it on mute and didn't even pay attention to the characters, what they're doing,
Yep.
it's so beautiful. The mountains, the woods, like just the cinematography.
Yeah,
of it.
they
time
shot it.
period's
They shot it
perfect.
in Alberta, Canada, to kind of get that, because it's kind of like that. The last thing in this area that's like untouched.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To get that feel. Even I think I even read somewhere that they used a breed of dog that was native to that time and place. Also.
I thought the dog's name was Kima, but it's I don't forget what the hell the dog's name is.
Oh, that would make sense. So the breed of dog you're saying
Yeah.
is native to that era of...
Yeah.
because that's not
one
like a
of the
normal looking dog.
original-
around.
And I
yeah.
think the area of where it's supposed to take place too. Because where is it?
Like where it's supposed to be in the movies, or where it actually.
Geographically.
It just says like Northern Great Plains, so I guess that
Okay,
could be anywhere like in the Midwest, really.
Right. Okay.
But they nailed this. I mean, the whole premise is taking us outside of our comfort zone for everything we've probably already seen in the Predator series, and they give us this great time period film taking place in the 1700s.
1719.
And it's just it's so well done. And then, I mean, as far as the Predator goes itself, I mean, Jay, you were talking about this earlier. You might as well, like, what's your view of this Predator versus all of the Predators we've seen before in terms of the physical characteristics and...
Well, I gotta say, I love the redesign. It looks it's obviously it's the same species. It's the same. It's a predator, but I mean, it gives you the feel that they don't all look alike. You know,
almost
like
ancient,
this,
right? Though this one's less technologically advanced
well, you
with
got
armor.
right. You got to think it's 300 years prior to when we first meet him in what is it, 86 or 87 when the original Predator comes out.
Mhm.
So it doesn't have the
87.
same kind of technology. Even the faceplate isn't metal, and it's made of bone, and it's just so like it's almost primitive.
Right.
But it has the technology, so I kind of feel like, does it have access to the technology, the same kind of technology, or is it just not using it because it's going up against a more primitive foe? Like they don't have the weaponry that like Arnold Schwarzenegger has in the.
So you think
In the
he's
original
matching the
one.
technology?
He's trying to match the technology. Like it's a projectile. He uses the same kind of scope that the original Predator uses, but it's not like a laser blast or whatever he uses in the original. It's actual projectile, similar to what it's like a bolt, similar to what they use with the arrows.
But then there is some stuff that like, they have little discs that kind of go up and like they're all the French guys are staring at it.
Right. Well,
blows
that's
up,
kind of like a precursor to the bomb, the self-destruct in the original.
Yeah, is there
Yeah.
anything like technologically that's missing on this Predator? I guess we didn't vet that. Like anything from the original that we don't see here? Like,
I mean,
aside from the mask, right? So the mask, and I can't remember if the armor plate on the shoulder is missing. I can't remember.
I think we get all the same like gadgets and stuff like that,
Except
or
for the
similar
face mask.
gadgets.
The face mask is not
the
the
face
same.
mask is different, but
Well,
you almost get the impression that I feel like maybe this is just kind of a choice.
Yeah, they're fucking
that
with
us. That this specific one is wearing that because he's just trying to look. Maybe he's trying to look cool.
He's accessorizing his kills.
He's trying to look badass, and he does.
I'm gonna go with the you know what? Okay, I'm going with the Comanches. I'm gonna go with some moccasins with this for this one.
Even the reveal when they finally show his face looks different. Like it's a different one, or maybe he just hasn't evolved into what we know as a predator.
Yeah.
Think about how much we evolved as, say, humans in like 300 years. Never mind, they're already that much advanced in 1719. So even 30 years, think of how far we've come in our generation.
Right.
Yeah.
So in 300 years, it kind of makes sense that the newer predators evolved, you know.
Right. But, like, I mean, obviously it has the technology to reach another planet in 1719. So they're obviously pretty advanced.
Yeah. And so this is another thing we're kind of unclear on, too, is if it was a crash landing or if he went there to kind of just hunt on his, day off and just wanted to go for a hunt.
Did they say that this was a prequel?
Well, it's definitely
stated before the original, so
well, that doesn't matter. How I mean, if they didn't, now I'm thinking about this. If they didn't tell us and come out and say this is a prequel, who's to say that they didn't travel back in time and totally just Sarah Connor us? Like, I mean, what if?
No, that's on a whole other level of deepness that I'm not even prepared to.
You know what I mean, though? Like, what if that's the whole idea of this? Is they are as evolved as they are. They are selecting their weapons of choice or their whatever they're wearing. So we're like, oh, it's probably primitive because it's wearing a bone mask.
They could be, yeah. Wait, the one gadget that we don't really see is the voice box thing. He doesn't imitate people's speech like in the original. Remember?
It didn't come with Comanche, the voice box.
Yeah.
It didn't come with Comanche.
It only came
settings.
with eight settings.
That's settings in the new update.
That's a good segue into the Comanche. We'll touch on that whole thing. The film is dedicated to the Comanche Nation, and there's a couple of different things about the Comanche that they're kind of true. Like they what was it?
I could, but I could be right. I mean, they don't come out and say, Prey, the prequel to Predator. They just leave it open to interpretation.
So it might be 719 in the future.
Well, all I'm saying is, like, how do we know that they don't have the technological advancements to be able to go back in time?
I don't know. There's no steamy sex scenes between Sarah Connor and Reese.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really think... I don't know about the whole time travel thing aspect of it.
Time travel, baby. It's just...
Look,
it's possible.
It is. It's already a thing with him coming back from wherever. Or do you think he's coming to the future? You think he's in the past but not? I don't know. This could go any...
I don't know. It could go either way.
This could get like Matrix.
I mean, look,
really
they're clearly aliens, so... They may just naturally be more evolved than us from whatever planet they're on, right? So that's...
Well, it's definitely a prequel because of that Easter egg that we have later on.
Okay, that's right. That defines that then. Well, why don't you bring that up
There's
now?
still a loophole there.
I brought up time travel. You are now going to debunk that with the gun.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to skip that far ahead.
No, we're not gonna. Honestly, I'm not even sure we need to go in a specific.
I mean, honestly, if you're fucking listening to this, you've seen this movie, so. Yeah, so, what's the main character's name?
Naru.
Naru receives ends up with a gun from one of the French settlers that they're going up against. It's the same gun that Danny Glover receives from the Predator in Predator 2.
Yeah, I forgot.
It has the same inscription, same date on it. It's the same gun. So at the end of that's them setting up the next movie because at some point another Predator has to come and get that gun.
Yeah, because how do you get it
in order to give it to Danny Glover?
That's the cool thing. That can be the piece that ties everything together. Doesn't matter how many more we get. As long as that gun makes it to Danny Glover.
So
I'm trying to connect it to the weak link in the Predator franchise.
It is interesting that they did that up through instead of just stopping at Predator, they ended up doing that has to be their choices up to Predator 2. Whoever made this obviously has a lot of respect for Predator 2.
So
Yeah, I mean, for the whole franchise, really.
So Dan Trachtenberg, and I'm probably butchering that. Trachtenberg.
Yeah.
So he also did 10 Cloverfield Lane too, which a lot of people are like, oh, I love this movie, but still not as good as
I
that.
wonder if his daughter's Michelle Trachtenberg.
Maybe.
Buffy's little sister in the 90s.
Oh, no shit.
Harriet the Spy.
Michelle Trachtenberg.
Oh, Harriet the Spy. One of my first crushes.
I was more of an Alex Mack kind of guy.
Oh, Alex Mack.
Alex Mack, yeah.
I miss Alex Mack.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Squirrel.
Oh, look at the kitty.
So he also did The Boys in 2019, which I know you got into, right?
That show's amazing, yeah.
And then he did The Lost Symbol, and I have in my notes here LOL, because that was a fucking great book, but the movie sucked. That's a Dan Brown adaptation. That he tech out of Prey is kind of refreshing, and I feel what like the franchise needs. You know, it needed like a little. If it was just like
It's bringing it back to the roots of that original.
yeah, that you can be a big burly man, all sexy and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
And then,
like you.
but say unlike me, but yeah, but at the end of the day, he just covers himself. Like you know what I mean? It's not about the
you can
technology.
have all the tech all you want, but it's about being a warrior, I guess.
Yeah,
being the predator.
being brave and being the.
You're being the predator, or you're being prey.
So yeah, I think it's just it's refreshing. It's kind of a new insight into just a cool like everyone loves a Predator. It's super nostalgic.
And
Peter Steele over here.
And I think
it's super nostalgic for so many people.
I think even the director had mentioned I think it was the Hollywood Reporter said something about like they kind of gotten away from the idea of like what was so good about the original Predator. They end up putting them in the city, and then they end up let's go fight some fucking aliens, and then like let's get Adrian Brody involved in this shit, and they kind of like got away from the whole idea of just like a thing in the woods that's hunting you down, one by one, and like that's what this thing's doing.
Did you guys?
And it's not just going after the people. It's like I get the impression that this is the first Predator that's come to Earth, because it doesn't go right for humans. It's looking right now for the most formidable force on the planet to go fucking hunt.
Yeah, and it's going through
starts
every
with a
animal.
fucking snake.
Yeah.
And then he goes to a wolf, and then he goes, oh, look at these fucking things. They kind of look like smaller versions of me, and they fucking have a tribe, and let's go fucking hunt them down.
Well, and the bear.
The bear.
The bear.
Oh, the bear scene rules.
But I mean, you're right. Yeah, it's not just a human hunt. It's
and it kind of goes to like, and they show it too, because the Predator itself in this movie, it kills each different type of animal in the same way that it would hunt.
Okay, so then maybe
it strikes really fast at the rabbit.
Yeah.
And that's how the snake strikes quick without being seen, and the Predator does the same thing with the snake.
Yeah, you're right.
It circles around the wolf the same. It
Predator.
fights the wolf the same way. It fights the bear the same way that the bear fought, just by brute force. And it uses technology and strategy to fight humans, because that's what the Comanches are all about.
Yeah.
Is they didn't have the technology that Dutch and his boys had.
Right.
But they have the strategy. I mean, fight like a Comanche, right?
Yeah.
Can you think of a more formidable foe to fucking go up against a Predator?
No.
A more, vicious warrior than a Comanche?
I think you're right. Yeah,
To go up against the Predator?
I guess that takes away from my whole time piece, because that would if it's learning the species of the Earth,
The
then
planet,
it's basically it must be its first time here.
Yeah.
Or at least this one's first time here. And yeah, so I guess.
And we don't know if this one's just acting alone, if it's just there, if that's,
You're right. There might be. Oh my word! I never even thought.
They might have sent this one here to, hey, scope out this planet, let us know what's going back, and then this one doesn't fucking come home, and that's why they keep sending Predators back to Earth.
Or what if two came and we're just seeing one, the other one's.
Maybe. There's one watching the whole time.
There's something going on. But going back to what we were saying before, as we move through the animals, like the best hunters of the animals, they kind of like he starts kind of seeking out specific humans too, like her
The strong ones.
the strong ones, like the brothers. Like he doesn't want, he wants me. He knows I'm like the hunter. I'm the challenge essentially.
It's at a point where it doesn't. She even points it out. She said he didn't come after me. He didn't see me as a threat.
Yes. So they kind of, and then it's kind of cool.
And that goes back to the original too.
And he doesn't see much of the French as a threat.
Yeah.
Poodle walking surrender monkeys.
Yeah, I think it's basically you have the French. The French are trying to take over the land where the Comanches are.
Well, they're just fur trapping, basically.
Okay, they're just fur trapping.
Yeah.
And killing anybody that gets in their way.
And killing anything.
Yeah.
And, yeah, you know.
Without any reason.
Just, French.
Just
the
you French oaf.
No.
No offense to our French listeners. You know, we love you guys, but we've all had a bad place in history, and you know, it happens.
You're at the center of it.
Yeah, you're at the center of it. It just happens, guys. It happens.
That's coming from 2 of us are French.
Yeah.
Sucks
Just
to
saying.
suck.
Yeah.
And the last time I went to Canada, I actually blew my voice out going for 3 days straight.
No, Doug.
We're at a very prestigious black metal festival, and I did that for 3 days and blew my voice out. It was fantastic. We'll do it again. And then last time I went to Canada, when we saw Sinister, you know the song "Cross the Sticks." Of course, I was yelling "crossing dicks" the whole time and blew my voice out too.
Perfect.
So I need to stop yelling in Canada.
You know what else about Canada is that's where this movie
Perfect.
Prey was
It
shot.
all comes right back. It all comes full circle.
And now, you can't hear it, those 8 of you who are listening right now. We are actually watching the movie right now. We're at the point where Naru is measuring the footprint of the predator, and it's like no footprint she's ever seen. It's not a bear because it walks on hind legs, and she knows this because she's an expert tracker.
It's got to be Shaquille O'Neal. It's 100% Shaq.
There's no way it's not.
Yeah, I mean, so I think what's amazing about this though is you have, as we were saying before the cast, we were talking about this a little bit. I think it's safe to assume the Comanches are hunting and gathering and doing this all, you know, in their fashion of being, it's back to nature. They use everything. What they kill, they respect and they use. Same with the Predator. It seems like he's paying homage to the predators that he's going after. It's like a fair fight. He's not trying to take something out that doesn't know it's there.
Right, because because we're at the scene now where he's going after the wolf. He could very easily just use his targeting thing and use a projectile and kill the wolf.
He wants
but he doesn't. Fight. He uses the claw and he fights it. I mean, granted, he's hiding with that invisibility cloak, so the thing can't really see him. But it knows it's there. The dog can sense it's there,
and he gives the dog a chance to have a fair fight.
Yeah,
and again, he's going. The wolf is going for the prey, and he's going for the predator. But the French are just killing everything in their path. And again, the whole point is like, I think this is trying to give us a perspective of who's the real villain in this story. Is it the predator or is it the French? Because we have the scene with the buffalo that they've skinned completely, just leaving the dead flesh. And I mean, the Comanches would eat the buffalo. They would eat buffalo heart.
They wouldn't waste any bit of it.
Wouldn't waste any bit of it. It would all be used. You know, and you got, you know, these guys here that they're being just as wasteful. I mean, not to say that the predator's not being wasteful. I don't know if it uses.
And that's the thing about like
I don't know if it's using the skin or anything or eating the wolf, but I would say it's giving us it's making us think more about who the real villain of the story is.
Great point.
Maybe
because I mean the natives just as a whole, like I mean early on, obviously in our culture painted as savages, were treated as savages or whatever, but they were the one, like, yes, they lived off that land, they killed buffalo, they hunted to survive, but they did that all with such respect and like a flow.
Yeah,
like that, you know, that was their way of life.
They would almost like thank nature. Thank you for
buffalo.
Like
life, life feeds life. Like that's how it was. And
they only
when the white people came here, when the French, the English, when we all came here, like
they were only deemed
wasn't
savages
us.
They weren't
wasn't
Christian,
us specifically. Y'all out there, but like, you know, people who look like us.
Yeah.
But like, they came here and just fucking pillaged, and that's what they did. So when I first saw the skinned buffalo, and I was like, that's not a predator. That kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I'm like, that's not what predators do. They're more in line with the way the Comanches
and that's
lived.
where it was giving us that second villain. Like, okay, who's the villain?
Because when you first see it, you don't realize because you don't know about the French at all until like halfway through the movie,
and then it gets to a point where they're just getting in the way of the story. They just gotta go.
And their total bodies. I mean, that's a body count.
Yeah,
their body count. Their body count for the film, but also ties into the time period. It's perfect. Let's go on weapons. Like, what do you know? Every movie, it's all about the weapons being used between predator and human. You talk about you were talking about this earlier too. So talk about the axes. The rope axes.
Yeah, the rope axe. Yeah, the rope axe is really cool in this. The way she uses the axe tied to a rope, it's just really convenient. And it's a good thing that she's instantly fucking good at it, because it seems like a really dangerous practice to just tie a rope to an axe and pull it out of a tree back in your direction. I feel like she would.
You can
lop an arm off when there's no one around for 100 miles.
I feel like she would go to show her brother and be like, "See what I can do," and chop her own head off.
It's like, yeah, I mean, I don't even. What would you call those type? I mean,
I don't know. I'm sure
boomerang axes or
I don't know. I think it's just a no. I don't see how that could feasibly work in logistics.
I don't think that's even possible.
No, I don't know. I don't know what they were going for there, but
it's cool. It was cool.
It was cool. Visually,
cool.
It was very entertaining.
Yeah, hell yeah. She would absolutely have taken an axe to the forehead, though.
Yeah,
there's no fucking way.
If not the blade, at least the butt end, and fucking knock herself out.
Right.
So we kind of talked about this earlier. So they do speak Comanche in certain scenes, and some of them. Do you remember the 13th Warrior? You might remember this. With Antonio Banderas.
Yeah.
So at the beginning, he's sitting around. I think he's native, and he's sitting around a bunch of white men, and then like he's sitting around the fire, and as they go around the fire, he starts understanding more and more, and then he actually like ends up kind of like with a comeback to one of the guys. I think he like insults his mother, he like insults him back in his language,
right? And
then the whole movie's in his language. And that's kind of, and you mentioned another movie too.
The Hunt for Red October.
The Hunt for Red October.
They start off speaking one language and they gradually move into speaking English,
but
giving the impression that they're still speaking that language, but just so that us, the audience, can understand it.
Yeah,
they kind of went a different route. It was pretty seamless. I didn't even notice they spoke Comanche at all in this movie. I just felt like I could understand the whole thing. Doug suggested earlier that somehow I just do speak Comanche.
Yeah, you just.
In which case, I'm entitled to certain reparations, so let's get paying up on that.
You can wear turquoise now. That's your reparation.
You can wear turquoise now. Without judgment.
Without judgment. And some silver stuff, too. Some beads, even. But, and I thought that was kind of done because, it's so beautifully shot, and it's kind of a waste reading the subtitles when you don't have to.
Right.
And with the French, like we were saying, too, the French subtitles don't have... They were just in French.
Saying, it's just speaking French. Yeah,
they were just what it is in French.
Again, we're not meant to understand really what they're saying because Naru doesn't understand what they're saying.
Yeah, so we're almost understanding them from her point of view, which I didn't.
So we really have like a real perspective kind of thing from it. Like we're really more in the character's head, and they are true to the Comanches. All of the voice actors in here dubbed over their performances in Comanche, so you can hear it in Comanche.
That's pretty rad.
It's fucking rad as hell.
It's a beautiful language,
Is it?
Well,
that's actually not. It's not the name of the language, is it?
Probably
the Comanche, the language that the Comanche Nation speaks. It's. I don't know.
Well, the fact that they tried to make this super authentic, they did a really good job at trying to get to that point.
I'd be interested to see if the Comanche Nation actually does agree with it. I mean, it's dedicated to the Comanche Nation.
They must have had to have some kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, if
they're pleased with it, because I think this is probably one of the best. I mean, I know we're getting ahead of we kind of sum it up in the end, but this is probably one of the best in the series. I mean, this is a standalone Predator movie, and how many times, because you get so caught up in a story that's so good that you forget you're watching. How many times did you guys forget you're watching a Predator movie? I just got wrapped up in her story, and it's a really good story. She's this is a character who's. It's supposed to just fit into a gender role. That's something that a lot of people can identify, especially a lot of women can identify with. I can imagine.
Yep.
And it's something that's been done in movies for a long time, especially in sci-fi and horror genre. I feel like the female underdog thing. It's not like a trope. That's like something that like the whole woke thing that's happening nowadays. That people believe. I think that this genre's always kind of been like that.
Oh man, horror's been. We know this, man. We've always the final girl's been since the 70s. I mean, this is not news to us now.
But as a standalone movie, it's shot so well, looks so good. None of the other Predator movies could. If none of them existed, this would still be a great movie.
I wonder how many people just see this and not realize there's movies before. Like a lot of the younger generation,
yeah, maybe
they might not, or maybe they've seen one or two, not knowing there was one.
I still like how they used the Predator font in the title, but called it Prey. I didn't have to know any more other than, okay, that's the Predator font, and we've got the title is Prey.
Not only that, but like nerds like us always fucking know like
shit
that
like
was coming
so
out anyway.
Cool.
We're like, oh, there's new Predator.
But that was so cool the way they did that.
But Prey 2 is very. It just begs the question, like, who is the prey and who is the predator? You know.
Yes.
So kind of just like with Predator, it's like who's the predator? It's kind of like the same. It's almost like the negative version of the Predator, but I don't know. This is probably one of my. I don't know if this might even be my new favorite in the whole series. I mean, the first one is classic.
The first one is classic.
Fucking Arnie, Jesse the Body Ventura.
Yeah, I mean, where would you get? I will place this for me as my second favorite Predator movie.
First being the first.
First being Predator.
Yeah,
I think that's probably where I'm gonna land too.
It's tough. It's maybe because I've seen this more recently, or maybe because there's actually a babe in it and not just sexy dudes from the 80s.
I mean,
this would be your number one?
I think this might be my new number one.
Wow. Okay. Hey.
Which it's a toss up, and
let's divide that into two categories. All right, because let's go with straight Predator movies first. The 3 Predator movies that exist, and then include Alien vs Predator. Those two.
So, quick question: which is the one where they're on another planet but they don't know it?
Predators.
They're getting hunted. That's Predators, right?
Yeah, I believe Robert Rodriguez did that.
Yes, I believe
he
so.
had something to do with it. I don't know if he directed it or not, but he had something to do with that.
I kind of thought I like the concept of that one.
I personally like Adrian Brody in his adaptation that he was in of Predator.
Yeah, that was definitely a good effort. It was
a good effort, but this is still I put this number.
This is just based on just originality. It's just so much better because like that one was kind of trying to copy it but do its own thing.
Right.
Like it had all the same tropes and like that's what I love about this one is that it didn't feed into all of the same tropes. It couldn't because you can't have him be like "Get the chopper." Yeah. But like there's only a couple of those moments where there's lines where it's a callback to the original where it says if it bleeds we can kill it. The brother says that, and then she says do it. She says do it while he's sitting there. But it's believable. It's not like a fucking gimme where it's on the nose and over the top.
I think I only own Predators. That's Adrian Brody's in Predators, right?
Yeah.
I think
he's like the Arnold character.
Yeah, he's like the Arnold character.
Which is funny. I don't know if that scene with him with his shirt off, he's like, "Kill me, I'm here." He like literally like does like an Arnold thing. And he's like ripped. I'm like, is Adrian Brody really ripped like that? I'm like, tell me that's CGI, please.
Only for that movie. No, only for that movie. And then he immediately ate carbs after the last take.
His face is a different color than his body.
Anyway, dude,
I know. Did you see what happened to Russell Crowe? He went completely the opposite way.
he went Bam Margera.
He's fucking Zeus. He
from 300 to from 300.
He played Zeus in the new Thor movie. Russell Crowe.
He did, yeah. He gained so much weight. He
didn't age.
I would love to hear what Nick thinks about his Greek accent in that Russell Crowe's Greek accent.
We need to get Nico on the line. Can we have like a phone a friend? Phone a friend. So, just touching on another thing, you were saying that this is one of the best Hulu releases.
Yeah, it was the most watched Hulu release. Premiere in the streaming service's history.
I mean, and do you feel like that's because this should have been a theatrical release? This should have been.
I feel like it probably should have been, but like, why wasn't it though?
That's what
doesn't make sense.
It's almost like they just wanted the. Now, the latest
question. What it accomplished doing that only to streaming, and because it's so well received, there's no way. Like we were saying, there's no way that they're not going to make.
Another one.
Tons of these. I bet they're like, all right, how many scripts can we have written up for different periods of time? I mean, they need to stick to the time periods. I think it would be. I told you, I'd love to see a fucking Aztec one or something. How badass would that be? Seeing them battle at the top.
Civil War, Revolutionary War, basically World War II. Like any part in history, you kind of throw them. And I think it would be fucking entertaining.
Or temple, whatever they. I don't. Did they consider the Aztec? Were they temples or pyramids? To that
I think the pyramids were. I think there were temples technically.
Kind of one the same, aren't they?
Yeah.
And then obviously we would need to see you'd have to go full Stargate and do an Egyptian one. I mean, you have to.
Yeah, that'd be cool too. Even if I went further back. Like
God, that would be so badass.
300 versus the Predator. Just a bunch of sexy Spartans. Fuck, I was just gonna say something.
So we're side note, we're getting to the bear part in the movie now. The predator is about to fight a bear.
Oh, and she's technically the prey.
And it's gonna.
So she is again. He's seeing her as the bunny, and so he's going after the bear as the prey. Now, what if she had been stabbing the bear? Would she have been the predator?
Probably.
Yeah, it would have been the aggressor.
Yeah, wild. I mean, there's so much to unpack in this when you keep watching it versus watching one of the other ones where you're like, all right, it's just the predator's just trying to kill some humans. Or
I love this scene where he kills this bear right here, and he just bathes in its blood. It's fucking insane.
Well, as you can see, the bear got a good chunk out of him because the bear had the green blood dripping out of his mouth too.
And she mentions later that she didn't really get a good look at him until he was covered in like the blood because she could see the outline. You know.
And the way he just drags his bear out like that
and then rips his spine out of his carcass. Yeah, there's no doubt that Hulu's going to do more of these.
So if I was Hulu, I would have this on here for 2 months and let everybody fall in love with it. Which all the guys at work, even guys that don't watch movies, are like, "Oh, you like fucking sci-fi and horror? Like, you need to watch Prey." I would have it on there for like 2 or 3 months, have everyone get hooked, and then do a theatrical version. So everyone already signed up. They already won. Everyone's either got the free trial that they're going to forget about, or they're going to sign up like, oh, cool, they got other shows I'll watch on here, and then put in the theater for all the fucking people that want to watch it. Because I'd go see it in the theater.
This will there's no doubt there'll be at some point they'll do theatrical. I mean, they've been bringing movies from all decades back to the theater.
Oh yeah, Return of the Jedi's coming back to theaters.
Soon. Yep.
Remember when they did that when we were kids, like in the mid-90s?
So 97.
Yeah,
97.
It was 97.
They did like one and one, right? Like
20 years, yeah.
The theaters.
They released one every month. They did New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and then Return of the Jedi. That was the first time I saw those movies too. I'd been given the trilogy on VHS the Christmas before that, but I never opened them. And then when they came out in the theaters, my dad took us to see them each time when they opened, and I was just like, I fucking fell in love with them. That was when I lost it with Star Wars and just it's all about it.
Something about I'm glad we had the same, because I never seen them before the theater either. So like just seeing it in the theater, like you hear about it, your parents talk about it, like, but just seeing it in the theater, even if I remember the theaters were sold out, it was Burlington. So I think it was like me, Nick, and Vic, and we fucking snuck in, and we're just watching from like the back, but it was just like, I'm like, okay, this is what it's all about,
It is, no.
Star Wars was the first movie my sister Katie ever went to. She was 9 days old. It was Star Wars Episode 1, Phantom Menace. The first movie.
And now she's what, 27?
She's 23.
Oh my god, last time I seen her, she was this big.
Phantom Menace, and she never watched another Star Wars again.
Probably not.
She said Episode 1.
She saw Episode 1 and never wanted to see another one.
She's like,
this episode of Vintage Burn brought to you by drinking beer.
Drinking beer. And bottles of wine.
And full
bottles of wine.
Fuck cups.
Yeah, so I mean, overall, I think I didn't know we would almost land on putting this in the top 2.
Yeah,
I mean, that's wild.
Well, I have the information in front of me.
Doug, for his sexual pleasure, obviously made it number 1 choice for reasons.
Yeah, a Selena Gomez lookalike, or Aubrey Plaza.
An Aubrey Plaza.
Plaza.
This is the Native American Aubrey Plaza, and I'm fucking in love with her.
So speaking of which, in Amber Midthunder, fucking name rules. So she was in Legion for 2 seasons, Roswell, New Mexico, and Reservation Dogs, which I haven't seen, but a lot of people have said really good things about.
Yeah, I've heard good things about Reservation Dogs too.
So what are the dumb notes? All right, so Predator, the original, 1987, 7.8. This ranked originally 7.2 back when we were originally going to do it in the Lost Tapes, but now it's 7.1.
The Lost Tapes.
So Predator 2, 1990 was 6.3. Predators 2010 was 6.4, and I'm missing the Alien vs. Predator, and then the Predator 2018 was 5.3. So I
forgot all about that one.
So they've all done, for IMDb, how brutal people can be, especially when people, I just see people that saw the first 2 and loved them because they were young, nostalgic, whatever, just shitting on everything else. But to get 6.3s, 6.4 consistently for those other ones, that's still pretty good because people can be gnarly when it comes to reviews. Do it now. I don't know. I have that written down. I'm just looking through my... And then Hulu, sad face. I think that was the whole why wasn't it released in the theater.
So who... here's a question for you guys. since we're on the subject of Alien vs. Predator, let's take both franchises and put them side by side.
Side by each.
Side by each.
Like as a whole?
As a whole. Obviously, we have to leave out the ones that have both of them.
Yes, yeah. Damn it. The tiebreakers, Alien vs. Predator. Like, shit.
Shit.
I'm Predator all day long. I always have been.
Okay. Wait, Predator over Alien series?
Alien.
If I had to choose to watch one series over the other, it would definitely be
Predator.
You think so?
No.
Yeah.
I've always been Event Horizon did it for me. I'm like, I don't need to see any other weird sci-fi spaceship movies.
Okay.
Like,
I gotta go Alien.
You're going Alien too, huh?
Yeah.
I'm the minority here, huh?
Yeah, I mean, look, if we're gonna base this off of,
dick.
Like sci-fi horror, there's no fucking. I mean,
there's no question.
There's no question.
The original Alien is.
The original Alien
is
yes,
so
Aliens.
classic.
Aliens is great too, and it's. I mean, it's
Completely
fucking
different
Terminator.
movie.
It's Terminator and Judgment Day, man. It's like. It's. I mean, funny enough, it's James Cameron, right? I mean,
right.
But it is. It's two different movies. Both movies are amazing. Those two alone within the Alien franchise are.
I will say, Alien jumps the shark a little bit more than Predator series does, especially with like Resurrection. I love Resurrection. It's
yeah.
I think I like it more than Part 3. Especially.
Well,
I definitely like Resurrection more than this is a really unpopular, weird opinion. I like Resurrection more than fucking Aliens.
That's interesting. I mean, I've come to the point where
Doug has helped me. And it's so fucking.
Doug has helped me along my journey in adulthood, where I say, "Hey, man, if that's what you like, I'm not going to argue with your opinion.
I'm not going to try and change
I
it.
literally, there's 0 point for me to convince you why it shouldn't be your." I respect
it's like trying
that.
to change how somebody votes.
I don't give a shit. I think that's
you're not gonna do it.
I think that's great. I mean, I think that's great. I love Aliens, and then give me the prequels, man. I like what they've done. And a lot of people have shit on Covenant, have shit on. I really enjoyed those, man. Those the last 2 or 3 movies I enjoyed all the way through.
I liked Covenant a lot. I loved Prometheus.
Prometheus was fucking awesome, man.
Prometheus was awesome.
Yeah.
And this one to me is this series is Prometheus. That's how much I like this one.
I could see that, yeah, man. I really enjoyed what they did recently with. I have to revisit Resurrection. Honestly, I just got to revisit.
I feel like I have to watch
3 and 4.
both.
I just have to.
No,
I have to.
Everything in each.
Resurrection was 3, right? 4.
That's Part 4, yeah.
Where she's basically like a
she's a clone.
She's a clone. Okay.
Yeah, she's like half Ripley, half alien.
Yeah,
they clone her using the alien DNA.
Yeah, I feel like that one they went a little bit. What's the movie? It was kind of like a little more Mad Max feel to it too, just in the way it was. It wasn't so much like space venture.
Yeah,
and it was way more like.
It's honestly, it feels more
post-apocalyptic.
Well, they do have that aspect because like they end up going back to Earth. They don't show Earth, but they're like that's their destination at the end of it when everything goes to shit.
Yeah.
But Earth is like even Ron Perlman says because Ron Perlman's in it. That's one of my favorite parts of the movie.
Ron Perlman
is in Resurrection.
I'm thinking,
yeah.
Sorry.
It's they're going to Earth and he goes, ugh, Earth, what a shithole. So like Earth is a fucking wasteland, and by the time Resurrection comes around.
Yeah, I would. So. There are far better movies within that series.
Okay.
Yeah. In my opinion, your opinion, but you know what, Doug?
Predator 2.
It doesn't matter, man. I mean, I think it's cool that you like the Predator series, but you really like it. You're all about this Comanche. I mean, let's be honest.
The best part about this
she's
one
the only reason. Yeah, she's the
number one.
Yeah.
Get to my chopper. That didn't make sense, Doug. Honestly. I feel like to give you guys right now, if I had to choose out of the gun, I would say Predator. Yeah. But I haven't seen a lot of besides Alien, I haven't seen a lot of the sequels, prequels, and shit in the franchise. Besides Prometheus.
It's just the way the original film.
Prometheus is shit for ticks.
Then I mean, it's just yeah. It's a. Even if you just say okay, Predator or Alien. I mean, Alien. The way it was filmed, everything about it.
Sigourney Weaver doesn't do it for me.
Who's the
You ever see the Sigourney Weaver or Danzig?
Yes.
Dude.
Yeah.
Who,
Some of them are tough.
Some of them are very tough.
It's like, sad. I know he passed away. I don't know how recently, but the original Alien, the guy who wore the suit, that was a fucking suit, dude. I mean, just awesome. That was a dude in a suit.
And that was pretty early, right?
Do you guys know who was supposed to be the Predator in the original Predator? Who was actually in the suit? They shot a bunch of stuff. It was not the same design of the Predator.
Was it Jerry from Subway?
No, you guys are never gonna believe. He's a fucking action star from the 80s.
This guy from Subway. I got that. That was good. That was good. That was
Here's a trivia for you. What a action star nearly played the Predator in the original Predator?
Please tell me like Hulk Hogan or something.
Kevin Spacey.
It was his height. That one of
the
those.
Muscles from Brussels, Jean-Claude Van Damme.
No shit.
Oh.
Yeah. Muscles from Brussels.
Wait, he almost played Predator?
Yeah, he was on set and he shot a bunch of stuff in the costume. It wasn't the same costume. It was a different design.
They gave it a flat top.
It wasn't gonna work. They didn't end up using it, and they didn't end up using him. They ended up going with a fucking 7'2" fucking dude,
which makes sense.
Makes way more sense. And Van Damme thought it was gonna be his big break, like he was gonna be like doing all this kung fu shit with Arnold. He didn't know he was gonna be in some fucking pink suit.
Yeah, his whatever manager fucked up on that one.
Yeah.
But then he did like Hard Target and shit, and
yeah,
won our hearts over there.
Oh yeah.
Come on, Bloodsport.
Double Impact.
Bloodsport, yeah, dude, yeah. Chocolate Van.
Which the one they made fun of when they like dip. It's like
Hot Shots Part 2.
Yeah, caramel gummy bears.
That's a great movie.
Anyway, we're Squirrel.
Yeah, that's our sequel.
You can't forget about Street Fighter.
I think that's it, guys. I think we're good on this. I mean, look.
Yeah,
overall,
now we're talking about like Jean-Claude Van Damme and Street Fighter and all this shit. I think we're off.
In a world of streaming, it is refreshing to see a streaming service buy a script, or actually, I don't even know how that works. Maybe that was part of it. They were able to use, without calling it a Predator movie, like Predator, Prey. They just went with Prey. Maybe, and they were able to use the font, the Predator font, without getting sued because it probably wasn't a copyright to that.
I think they had the rights to it. Just
do you think so?
When you have Predator, Predator 2, Predators, The Predator, Alien versus Predator, what you can't do any.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
So it's almost like, all right, well, let's go with another.
I just didn't know if they were trying to avoid litigation around it.
No,
like,
I think it was on the up and up as far
because you know how it is right now.
Yeah,
like
that'd be way too on the nose.
Look at Friday the 13th.
If they were trying to skirt some kind of like fucking legal loophole, like let's make a Predator movie but not make a Predator movie.
Yeah, it's got purple
they would
blood.
They would definitely be. It wouldn't even been released.
And I only say that because of the litigation around fucking Friday the 13th. It never ends. It just constantly.
And that's over now. I heard. Too.
I heard it's over, and we're gonna get something.
And
I keep hearing about LeBron James wants to be involved. And
well, LeBron can just stick to whatever he's doing.
Well, he's supposedly a massive like Friday the 13th.
All right. Well, if he's one of us, then that's a different story.
Yeah.
I just don't want some like random celebrity being like, I want to be a part of that.
No, and he wants.
I like the hockey.
With Coolio and
no. Apparently, he wants to he just wants to help either produce, direct. He wants to be in the chair to make sure.
Dude, just throw some fucking money at it, LeBron. We'll be cool with it.
Well, that's what he wants to do.
Look at Danny McBride. I never thought of him as a horror writer. You
I know.
And then he came out with Halloween,
and they did very well. They did well.
So it goes to show you have these people. He probably grew up on and loved him just like all of us, and he's got the money.
We should check that after this. Let's check the Halloween Ends RT rating now. I want to see where it's gone.
I still haven't seen Halloween Ends. Is that bad?
Yeah, you weren't there that night.
No, and I
didn't even watch it, huh?
I'm so fucking bad with movies. I told you.
We should watch that after.
Might have to.
Just because. Anyway, I would say
Evil dies tonight.
Evil dies tonight. It was refreshing.
Pizza dies tonight.
I just think it was refreshing that a streaming service took this. So if they did have copyright, that they made this a fucking great movie and it didn't end up being a dumpster fire. We're like, oh great, a streaming service that's going to revive, an old horror series and turn it to complete shit. They did a great job with it.
I will. All right, once we post this, I'll do a little research.
And I'm seeing more of that because I think the Chucky series is pretty fucking good too, man.
Because sometimes,
listen, man, they couldn't keep making Rocky movies, so they just started making Creed movies. All right, so we can't make any more Predators. We'll just start making Prey.
We'll start making Prey. Yeah.
Because sometimes I know, a studio will make the movie and they'll be like, "Hey, who wants it? Netflix, Hulu, theater, who wants it?" But sometimes I know they'll put up the money to make a movie. I don't know what the case is.
Hulu
on
did
theater,
it right because I think this. I mean, they did it
right, but it should have been in the theater too.
And they definitely set it up with a sequel. We'd be remiss if we didn't note the gun at the end of this movie. Did we already mention the gun?
You did.
All right. Just want to make sure we had that little tidbit to.
One more little thing. I just want to say the dialogue among the the younger people in the tribe, and even the mother. Like, no matter, me and Jay were talking about this earlier. How
authentic.
No matter, it's very authentic. It's very it's
a good storyline.
1,000 years ago or 1,000 years in the future, you're gonna have brother sister rivalry. You're gonna have people busting each other's balls. And it's kind of done, not overly done, but done in like a playful, but kind of that's realistic to me. Again,
this is so well done. The whole thing is well done.
Look at the shots.
They didn't, like I said, they didn't beat the tropes to death.
No,
they used to with the franchise. It's like some of the sometimes they do stuff that's just so on the fucking nose. It's just like an insult,
Absolutely.
But they hit a couple of little notes that we had from the original, and it's
almost be bummed if they didn't have a couple of those teeny, but you don't want complete plagiarism, but it's just beautifully fucking shot. And I'm pointing to the TV, you can't see me, but it's just beautifully shot.
Yep.
But all right,
well, on that note,
I think we all recommend it, right?
Recommend.
It doesn't happen often, but go see
to
it if
Hulu,
you haven't.
Get your free trial, watch Prey, or buy it. I'd say buy it. It's worth a buy.
Or if you want my password, it's
unless Hulu kind of conflicts with Podbean in some way, in which we can't endorse it. Anyway, but the movie itself, sure.
All right, well, with that, this has been Burn. Kev.
I said your name anyway.
Oh, you said my name. NJ. I thought you said Doug. I'm like, oh.
Thank you guys for listening. As always. Thank you.